Now, talking about the whole idea of having your caravan raided, what do you think about the bounty hunter system? And do we want to see bounty hunter specifically for corrupted players, or would you like to see the option to place them on people who have maybe wronged you? So caravan attackers who just ganked all your hard work, etc.
Yeah. So I was reading this one beforehand. I think people are going to do this. So they talked about doing, I know they scrapped enemy of the state, which is kind of what they're talking about. I really like that idea, the entire enemy of the state. Me personally, I kind of see the bounty hunter as like the yin to the corruption system's yang. And I feel like if you expanded the bounty system to cover more than what the corruption system does, then you'd almost have to expand corruption. Because I feel like they're just equal but opposite parts of the same system. But I do like the idea, and I would definitely do this. If I was the mayor of a node, if somebody so duly elected me, if there were certain guilds that were raiding an area, I would put a kill on site for this area. Like, hey, if these people are showing up trying to farm people, go take them out. I would reward gold or glint or however you go about doing that for node members, I guess. So yeah, he's just asking for integrated in the system. I like the idea. I like the idea. I just don't know if it would work for bounty hunting.
Yeah, fair. Vertec?
Yeah, it's a tough one really, because I could totally see what Nick there was talking about with no need to make a system-based bully feature if you do it with anybody but corrupted individuals. But at the same point, I could see something along the lines of if somebody does slay you, even if they're not corrupted now because they recovered from it, like the last 5 people or something like that to kill you in open world combat. That maybe I could see something like that maybe, but
sure.
That's about all I could really see stretching it to be honest. What I did, speaking kind of the bounty hunting system, an idea that I did have that would be cool for bounty hunters and corrupted alike, the balance and everything, would be if there was almost like a randomly wandering troop of like gypsy folk that they don't care who you are. They're almost like another neutral territory vendor type thing. So they wouldn't be a node that would, kick out somebody who's severely corrupted. They would still trade with them so that corrupted would still have a place to trade, sell stuff, buy things, buy supplies, etc. But it would be one specific traveling troop. And bounty hunters, if they were to stumble across it or just know where it's at because other bounty hunters have passed along the message, they could absolutely stalk that little caravan and wait for any corrupted people to just flock to it. And it could add another risk versus reward. Yeah. If corrupted people need to sell that stuff, fence some goods to make some money real quick, they could chance it, but the bounty hunter might get them. And the bounty hunter might be wasting their time following that caravan. Who knows?
The idea I had was maybe don't touch the bounty hunter system on this, but I do imagine a group of self-proclaimed bounty hunters, aka mercs, rising up to fulfill this position of people who always want to be purple, right? And if somebody's ganked you out in the open, you have like this merc that you can hire to kind of take revenge for you if you so desire. But I could see it being its own player-made system rather than game-made system in general. But it was an entertaining thought in general. The next question is, what do you think of having... This is just more like an amusement, like amuse me kind of conversation from Fallen Saber. An unbeatable boss concept. So a singular boss hidden away, not core to the game, that is so difficult it would take a party of the most skilled players in each class with perfect teamwork to beat as an ultimate test of skill. And my favorite was Wacky Tabby, or Wacky Tabaki response saying, excited programmer screaming, behold, we have finally created the most intelligent, perfect AI. What's it used for, you asked? It is solely used to control an unkillable boss in AOC. But what are your thoughts on that?
This is a great idea. I love the idea of a game having different varying levels of difficulty for different players, because you want to make content for players starting out to get into the game so that they find things that they enjoy starting out, and as they get more experience, they become more veteran players. You have content for them to be challenged, and then you're always, in every game, you're always going to have those 1%, 0.5% guys and girls, ladies, that do content at a very, very high level. And having something kind of sneaky like this, where you have like a master title or something like that, really would give people something to work for, something really prestigious. Because the first, I mean, I'm sure you guys had this in World of Warcraft too, but the first time like content creators or raids completed like hard mode content in some of the games that I played, it got posted all over social media. It was a big deal. Right. Like it was the first complete. And so having like a nearly impossible boss get actually beaten would be very cool. Be very, very cool.
Yeah. See, that's the type of thing that would live on in Legend, both as the unbeatable thing that nobody's going to ever be able to slay, and then that thing that it took somebody 7 years to beat.
Yes.
It's 7 years and 3 expansions. Somebody finally got it down.
Yeah. I have to say there is something to be said about respecting something that is super overpowered, that you realize that it's way out of your power league. I guess a good example with this is Power World, where you have those giant mammoths that are right there. They're like level 32 in the starting zone area. And like you accidentally aggro one of those, you're flattened, so like there's like a respect for that power afterwards, and you become careful around it. You try not to aggro it after that. And I think that that's something that like it adds a threat. There's that level of nervousness, like, oh no, I hope I don't accidentally hit this thing, I hope I don't accidentally aggro it, but then it's also like that excitement factor of, oh my gosh, that was really close, it could have killed me and it didn't, I snuck past it, or what have you. In Arctic says some EVE Online type stuff. Absolutely. Welcome in, Arctic House. But I think for myself, I think having a level of like Ashes and Air said, I think it's okay to make boss literally unbeatable for the first few years. Fine. I think it makes a respect thing. That's the thing that nobody is beating. It becomes an object for people to achieve for and strive for. And I feel like it makes that rose all the more sweeter when you're finally able to pluck it, essentially.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine with all the dungeons, or at least the raids anyway, that are supposed to be intelligently scaling to how players perform with previous bosses in it? Could you imagine if the AI for that like unbeatable boss concept that was locked away, where somebody would definitely not find it for like at least a year just because of things that you have to do in order to get there, whatever? And the entire time it's just watching what all the other raid bosses are doing with the players and which skills are the best, and say that unbeatable boss has a selection of like, say 6 out of 10 or 4 out of 5 of the skills from every single raid boss that it can choose from, and it just looks at what the most effective one is that everyone always dies to, or the most people get knocked out of or perform the worst against, and it just keeps choosing those on an ongoing basis. And these are the ones that it's going to use, and it just trains itself just by watching everybody trying to play their best. And it picks up on their weaknesses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I love having the impossible to reach for object, or nearly impossible to reach for object, because that'll be a big deal if somebody ever completed it. It won't be me. It won't be me, but it would be a very cool thing to see somebody do.
Yeah, I agree with that.